No person is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. What if I told you that manipulative patterns share the same 7 tells, no matter how charming the person, and that once you name them, the spell breaks? The most dangerous manipulation doesn't look toxic, it looks caring. It shows up as "I did this for you," tiny guilt trips, moving goalposts, and compliments with strings. You feel foggy, second-guessing yourself, and somehow apologizing for things you didn't do. Sound familiar? You're not broken, you're being played. In this video, through a Stoic lens, you'll learn to spot the 7 red flags that reveal a manipulative partner. The subtle power grabs, the manufactured confusion, the emotional debt traps. You'll see how to reclaim your perception, set calm boundaries, and respond with clarity instead of chaos. Because when you master your response, you take back your freedom. Stay with me till the end and you'll walk away with a simple checklist, a few bulletproof phrases, and a daily practice you can start tonight. No drama, no shouting, just steady, stoic strength, the kind that makes manipulation lose its grip. Hit play, breathe, and let's turn the lights on. Your peace is worth it. Number 1, they constantly twist your words to confuse you. One of the most subtle yet damaging tactics a manipulative partner uses is twisting your words to confuse you. It's not just about what's said, but how it's bent and reshaped to make you question yourself. When someone consistently distorts what you say, they're not merely arguing, they're eroding your sense of reality and ultimately, your confidence. Imagine speaking plainly, sharing your feelings or thoughts, only to have them flipped back at you in a way that makes you doubt your own meaning. This isn't an accident or a simple misunderstanding. It's a deliberate effort to control the narrative and keep you off balance. When this happens repeatedly, it chips away at your clarity, making it harder for you to stand firm. The Stoics teach us the power of clear perception. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." You might not control how your partner twists your words, but you absolutely control your response. The first step is to ground yourself in your own truth. Know what you said, why you said it, and hold on to that with confidence. Start practicing this exercise. After a conversation where you feel your words were twisted, take a moment to write down exactly what you intended to say. This isn't about preparing arguments or rebuttals. It's about reclaiming your clarity. By committing your true thoughts to paper, you anchor yourself in reality, making it easier to resist confusion. Another key habit is to pause before reacting. When your partner distorts your words, your gut might scream in frustration or confusion. Instead of reacting immediately, breathe. Recognize that the confusion they try to create is a tool, a weapon to unsettle you. Your calm, measured response strips away their power. Remember wisdom. If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth. You don't need to be defensive, but you do need to be clear. Truth isn't about winning an argument, it's about knowing your own mind and refusing to be swayed by manipulation. You also have the right to set boundaries here. If twisting your words becomes a repeated pattern, let your partner know you will not engage in conversations that distort your meaning. Stand firm. Silence or walking away can be more powerful than getting pulled into their confusing web. Finally, cultivate your inner observer, a key Stoic tool. Watch how your mind reacts when you feel confused or doubted. Are you slipping into self-doubt? Are you questioning your memory or intentions? Acknowledge these feelings without judgment. This awareness helps you separate your truth from their distortions. You deserve to be heard and understood without your words being weaponized. Your clarity is your armor. Build it daily. Write down your truths. Pause before reacting. Set firm boundaries. And above all, remember that no one can take away your peace unless you allow it. This isn't just about surviving manipulation. It's about rising above it with calm confidence. Take control of your narrative. Guard your mind. Live with the clarity and strength that the Stoics championed. Number 2, they isolate you from friends and family. Let's talk about a warning sign that often creeps in slowly, almost like a shadow, when a manipulative partner starts isolating you from your friends and family. This isn't just about wanting alone time or a quiet evening now and then. No, this is a calculated move to chip away at your support system and keep you dependent on them. When that happens, your world shrinks. You lose the fresh perspectives, the encouragement, and the grounding that comes from those who truly care about your well-being. You need to understand this. Your relationships outside of your partner aren't just social conveniences, they're lifelines. They remind you of your value, your strength, and your independence. When someone tries to cut those off, they are trying to control you by controlling the flow of influence around you. Said, choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. It starts by recognizing that isolation is a form of harm, even if it doesn't look violent or overtly cruel. So what does this manipulation look like? It might be subtle at first, little comments about how your friends don't really understand you, or that your family is too much drama. Maybe they pressure you to skip gatherings or make you feel guilty for spending time with others. Over time, those little cracks become a wall. You might even find yourself questioning whether your friends and family truly have your best interests at heart. That doubt is exactly what they want to plant. Here, where you need to step in consciously, intentionally, and with strength. Guard your connections fiercely. Make it a non-negotiable rule to nurture the relationships that uplift you. One practical exercise is this. Schedule weekly check-ins with at least one trusted friend or family member, no matter what. This creates a rhythm of connection that's hard to break. Keep a journal where you reflect on your feelings after those interactions. It will help you notice when someone is trying to sow doubt or guilt. Remember the Stoic principle of knowing what is within your control. You can't control someone else's manipulation, but you can control your choices, your actions, your thoughts, your boundaries. Don't hand over your freedom to someone else's need to dominate. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. React by reinforcing your network, by affirming your worth outside any one relationship. If you ever feel your social world shrinking, act immediately. Reach out, voice your concerns to people you trust, and don't let guilt or shame keep you silent. You have the power to rebuild and protect your circle. Isolation is the weapon of control. Connection is the sword of freedom. Choose connection. Start today by texting a friend you haven't talked to in a while or accepting that invite to a family event you've been avoiding. Each small step is a refusal to be boxed in by manipulation. You owe it to yourself to live with the clarity and strength that only real, honest relationships provide. Your resilience grows when you don't walk alone. Number 3, they use guilt to control your decisions. One of the quietest but most corrosive tools a manipulative partner wields is guilt. They don't always shout or demand. Instead, they weave a subtle thread of "you should," "if you cared, you would," or "after all I've done for you" into your mind. This isn't just emotional blackmail, it's a slow squeeze on your freedom. And here's the truth you need to hold onto: your decisions belong to you. Nobody has the right to make you feel like you owe them your life, your time, or your peace. You might find yourself hesitating, feeling like you're betraying them or being selfish when you want to say no or put your own needs first. That's exactly what they want. The manipulator's guilt trips aim to erode your boundaries until they're as fragile as glass. When you're trapped in that mindset, your sense of self slips away. You start bending your choices not because you want to, but because you're afraid of their disapproval, disappointment, or withdrawal. Remember what Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Guilt is an emotion, a reaction, not a command. It does not own you. And when you catch yourself being swayed by this toxic tool, you have the power to pull back and reclaim your mind. Here's a practical exercise to help you build that muscle. When a wave of guilt rises, pause, take a slow, deep breath. Ask yourself, is this guilt justified or is it being used to control me? Distinguish between natural empathy and manipulation. Real empathy honors your autonomy. Manipulative guilt insists you sacrifice it. This clarity will grow stronger each time you practice it. Another step, write down your personal values. What matters most to you? What are your non-negotiables? When guilt clouds your judgment, return to these values like a compass. Stoics call this living according to nature, meaning living in line with your true self, not the shadow cast by someone else's demands. Don't let yourself become a prisoner of emotional coercion disguised as love or care. Reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. That power includes the freedom to say no without guilt, to choose your own path without apology. And here's something vital. Guilt can feel heavy, but it's never a reason to give up your dignity. When you hold your ground, you send a message to your partner and yourself that your well-being matters, that your decisions aren't a negotiation under pressure but an expression of your sovereignty. You deserve a relationship where respect replaces guilt, where trust encourages honest choices rather than silent sacrifice. The next time you feel that prick of guilt trying to shape your actions, don't swallow it whole. Instead, question it. Analyze it. Let it roll off like water from a sturdy rock. Start today by noticing the patterns. Journal your feelings when guilt shows up. Speak your truth in small ways. With every step, you'll reclaim your power. You'll move closer to the Stoic ideal of inner freedom, a freedom that no one, no matter how close, can take away. Number 4, they deny or minimize their harmful behavior. All right, let's dive into this. They deny or minimize their harmful behavior. This is a classic but dangerous red flag when it comes to manipulative partners. It's subtle, often disguised as defensiveness or excuses, but it chips away at your reality. If you find yourself questioning your feelings because the other person insists their actions weren't as bad as you felt, or worse, that you're overreacting, that's manipulation in full effect. Here's the truth. A partner who denies or downplays their harmful behavior is trying to control the narrative. They want you to doubt your own perception because if you trust your feelings less, you lose power. And when you lose power, your voice, your boundaries, and your peace start to crumble. The Stoics teach us to anchor ourselves in reason and self-awareness. Said, if someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, by which no one was ever harmed. That's the gold standard. You deserve a partner who is willing to face the truth, to own their mistakes and grow from them, not someone who evades responsibility like it's a poison. But here's what's crucial. You must guard your own mind against confusion and self-doubt. When your partner denies their harmful actions, don't fall into the trap of gaslighting yourself. Your feelings are real. Your experience matters. The moment you allow someone else to rewrite your reality is the moment you lose yourself. So how do you fight back? How do you protect your clarity and your peace? First, commit to observing without judgment. When your partner brushes off your concerns or insists their behavior was harmless, pause. Don't react immediately. Reflect internally. What exactly happened? How did it make you feel? Writing down your experience can be incredibly grounding. It's a Stoic exercise, journaling your thoughts and emotions to strengthen your understanding of what is within your control. Second, set boundaries. You don't need to wait for them to admit fault to protect your peace. If their behavior hurts you, that's enough. Tell them calmly, when you do X, it affects me like Y, I need that to stop. And watch how they respond. If they deny or dismiss your feelings again, that tells you something important about their respect for you. Third, train your mind not to be shaken by their denial. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your partner's refusal to own their actions is their problem. It doesn't define your worth or truth. You decide how to react. Will you let it erode your confidence, or will you stand firm in your truth? Finally, practice self-validation. Look inward and affirm your feelings without external approval. Say to yourself, my feelings are valid. I see what's happening clearly. Repeat it often until it becomes your internal armor. This is not about being rigid or unforgiving. It's about being wise and unshakable. You deserve a relationship built on respect and truth. Denial and minimization are cracks in the foundation. Don't ignore them. Address them head-on with calm and clarity. You have the power to protect yourself. So start today, journal your feelings, set your boundaries, and remind yourself that your perception matters. This is your path to freedom from manipulation. Take it one steady step at a time. You're worth nothing less. Number 5, they exploit your vulnerabilities for their gain. All right, let's dig into this. When a manipulative partner exploits your vulnerabilities for their own gain, it's a silent, insidious attack on your inner fortress, one that's all too easy to overlook if you're not alert. But you can be alert. You must be alert. This is your life, your peace, your mind at stake. First, understand what it means to exploit vulnerabilities. It's not just about pointing out your weaknesses. It's about using those soft spots like weapons against you, twisting your fears, your insecurities, your past wounds not to heal or help, but to control and bend you to their will. The Stoics teach us to guard our inner citadel, our rational mind, from such invasions. Said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. You must realize this power and hold it close. You see, a manipulative partner doesn't just want to share your life, they want to shape it. To do this, they pry open the cracks in your armor, your doubts about your worth, your moments of loneliness, your hesitation, and flood those cracks with gaslighting, guilt, or false promises. They feed off your sensitivity. But here's the kicker. Your vulnerabilities are yours. They're not a weapon for someone else to wield. They're part of your humanity. And the moment you allow someone else to use them against you, you're handing over your sovereignty. This is why you have to practice what the Stoics call the faculty of choice, the ability to decide your own judgments and reactions. You don't have to respond to their manipulations the way they want. You can decide to see through their tactics. You can decide to stand firm, grounded in your values, your self-respect. So what can you do right now to protect yourself? Recognize your vulnerabilities, but don't shame them. Vulnerabilities are not flaws. They're parts of you that need understanding and care. Write down what you feel most sensitive about: fears, insecurities, triggers. Awareness is the first step to reclaiming control. Set clear boundaries. When a partner uses your vulnerabilities to push you into guilt, compliance, or doubt, practice saying no. Say it calmly, firmly. I'm not comfortable discussing this, or that's not acceptable. Repeat this until it feels natural. Remember Epictetus. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Question their intentions. When they bring up your insecurities, ask yourself, are they helping me grow, or are they using this to make me feel small? This mental check breaks the spell of manipulation. Build your internal resilience daily. Engage in a simple Stoic practice. Each morning, remind yourself, today, I will face challenges with reason and calm. I will not be shaken by those who seek to manipulate my mind. Then, every evening, reflect on moments you stood firm. This rewires your mind to be less susceptible. Practice emotional detachment, not indifference. Emotional detachment means observing your feelings without being overwhelmed by them. When you feel manipulated, step back mentally. Breathe. Ask yourself, is this my emotion, or is this a reaction to their attempt to control me? You owe it to yourself to reclaim your power. No one should hold your fears hostage or twist your wounds into chains. Remember Seneca's words, "No man is crushed by misfortune unless he has first been deceived by prosperity." In other words, don't be deceived by the illusion of love or care if it's wrapped in manipulation. You have the strength to break free from this. It begins with awareness. It grows with boundaries. It thrives in daily practice. And above all, it rests in the truth that your vulnerabilities are yours, not weapons for others, but parts of your soul deserving respect and protection. Stand firm. Guard your inner citadel. You are worth that fight. Number 6, they shift blame onto you for their mistakes. Let's talk about a sneaky but powerful warning sign of a manipulative partner. When they shift blame onto you for their mistakes. It's a trap. And if you don't spot it, you risk losing your own sense of truth and peace. You need to see this clearly and act on it. Imagine this. Something goes wrong, something they did, yet instead of owning up, they twist the story until it's somehow your fault. Suddenly, the mistake isn't theirs, it's yours. That's not just unfair. It's a manipulation tactic designed to control you. It's a way to dodge responsibility and keep you feeling guilty or defensive, so you stay off balance. Here, where Stoic wisdom cuts through the fog, said, if someone does wrong, it is because they are mistaken about what is good for them. That doesn't excuse their behavior. It just reminds you that their actions are theirs alone, no matter how much they try to rope you in. You don't have to accept blame for something you didn't do. You don't have to carry their burden. Your peace depends on recognizing this. Now, why does this matter? Because when you start taking blame that's not yours, you chip away at your self-respect. You start doubting your own judgment, your feelings, your reality. You begin walking on eggshells, trying to fix or appease someone who won't take responsibility. And that's exhausting. You deserve better than that. So what can you do right now to reclaim your power? First, cultivate awareness. Next time you catch yourself apologizing for something that feels off, pause. Ask yourself, is this truly my fault, or am I absorbing blame that belongs elsewhere? Be honest with yourself. Your feelings matter. Your experience matters. Second, practice clear boundaries. If your partner tries to shift blame, calmly state your perspective. I see it differently, or I don't think that's accurate. You don't need to argue endlessly or get defensive. Just hold your ground with quiet confidence. Remember Epictetus' words. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your reaction is your power. Third, build inner resilience by journaling or reflecting daily. Write down moments when you felt unfairly blamed. Explore your feelings without judgment. This strengthens your connection to your truth and helps you see patterns you might have ignored. It's a practice of self-trust. Lastly, remind yourself regularly that your value is not tied to someone else's approval or narratives. You are not responsible for fixing their mistakes or soothing their ego. That's their work to do. This shift in mindset isn't easy, but it's essential. When you stop accepting blame that isn't yours, you reclaim your dignity. You send a message that you won't be manipulated. You cultivate an inner calm no one can steal. So take this to heart. Refuse to be the scapegoat. Stand tall in your truth. Own your part, yes, but don't swallow someone else's fault. That's the Stoic way of protecting your mind and spirit. You deserve to be in a relationship where accountability is shared honestly, not used as a weapon. Take a deep breath, look clearly at the signs, and decide, Will you keep surrendering your peace, or will you step into your own strength starting now? The choice is yours. Number 7. They create chaos to keep you off balance. All right, let's talk about something that digs deep into the heart of manipulation. How a manipulative partner creates chaos to keep you off balance. This isn't just petty drama. They're intentionally stirring the pot, crafting confusion and breaking your rhythm so you lose your footing. And you, my friend, don't have to stay trapped in that storm. Imagine this. Your mind is a calm lake. When someone tosses stones into it, the ripples disturb your clarity. Now, what if those ripples never settle? You feel unsettled, unsure, constantly reacting instead of acting. That's exactly what a manipulative partner aims for. They want you reacting to their chaos rather than standing steady in your truth. The Stoics teach us to anchor ourselves in reason and virtue amid external turbulence. Said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That's your anchor. No matter how much chaos they unleash, you hold the power to remain steady inside. Why do they do it? Because chaos breeds dependency. When everything around you is unpredictable, you start seeking stability, and guess who they become? The only one who can provide it. This is a trap. You deserve to find that stability within yourself, not from someone who deliberately shakes your foundation. Here's the thing, chaos clouds your judgment. It overwhelms your emotions and clouds your perception. When your thoughts are jumbled, your ability to make clear decisions vanishes. That's the ultimate goal of this chaos, disempower you. But here's your secret weapon, awareness. The moment you recognize this pattern, when arguments flare up suddenly, when calm moments are ripped apart by confusion, when you feel like you're constantly on edge, know this is a red flag. It's their attempt to unsteady you. How do you reclaim your power? Start with this. Breathe deeply and pause. When chaos erupts, your first instinct might be to jump into the fray. Stop. Take a breath. Feel the ground beneath your feet. This simple act reconnects you to your center. Set clear boundaries. Chaos thrives in a lack of limits. Declare what behavior you won't accept. Stand firm, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Detach emotionally when needed. This doesn't mean becoming cold or indifferent. It means not letting their storm dictate your inner weather. Practice saying to yourself, "Their chaos is theirs, not mine." Journal your feelings and thoughts. Writing helps untangle the mess in your head and gives you a clear view of what's really happening. Practice the Stoic exercise of negative visualization. Imagine the worst outcomes calmly. This preps your mind so unexpected chaos doesn't rattle you as much. You might be thinking, that sounds hard. How do I stay so steady when everything around me is spinning? It is hard. But remember, strength isn't born from ease, it's forged in the fire of challenge. When you practice steadiness amid chaos, you are not only protecting yourself, you're growing stronger, wiser, and more resilient. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You get to decide your reaction. You get to be the calm in your storm. So when your partner tries to toss you into chaos, don't dive in. Stand tall, breathe, and choose your peace. This habit will become your fortress, and in that fortress, manipulation loses its power. Now it's your move. Start small. The next time the storm rises, pause, feel your feet, own your breath. That's the beginning of your silent dominance. You're stronger than the chaos, and you can prove it every day. Now that you know these 7 warning signs, it's up to you to protect your peace and your power. Remember, as Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Don't let manipulation steal your clarity or your calm. Stay vigilant, set your boundaries, and keep your mind rooted in virtue and reason. If you found this video valuable, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom that empowers your life. And comment below, have you ever recognized these signs before? How did you respond? Stay strong, stay steady, and above all, keep your inner fortress unshaken. Until next time, keep practicing the art of self-mastery.